Natalie Bennett, and I'm going to be giving my TED Talk on nervous habits. So as someone who has struggled with nervous habits myself, I know what it feels like to have a desire to quit and then feel like you can't because maybe you've tried before and you failed, but for whatever reason, you just kind of don't even try because it seems too daunting. And so this is a picture of a girl biting her nails because one of the nervous habits that I personally deal with is biting my nails. So I thought that, and also it's one of the most common habits, especially in teenagers, but in general, most people that have a nervous habit bite their nails, and that's what they deal with. So my own personal experience with nervous habits is I sucked my thumb up until I was in the 2nd grade, and then starting around that time, I began biting my nails, and then in 8th grade, I started pulling out my eyelashes. So I have a plethora of experience with nervous habits and how they manifest. So I think one of the most important things to understand about nervous habits is basically what they are, and they're any behavior that a person engages in repeatedly for purposes typically of self-soothing. They can be an alternative to fidgeting, and sometimes they can even help people focus. And the examples that are most prevalent to people are nail biting, skin picking, usually on the hands that I've noticed, and hair pulling. And calling those nervous habits is kind of a misnomer for them because they're not always caused by anxiety, according to Rachel Retner, the senior writer for Life Science. They can be caused by boredom, relaxation, and even anger sometimes. So that's not exactly an accurate representation. And according to Dr. Tamar Chomsky of Freeing Your Child from Anxiety, a book given to me by my mother, another type of nervous habit that's often called a nervous habit but isn't actually is a nervous tic, which is caused by a brain message to your body to move, and that isn't something that people typically notice because it's involuntary, which makes it difficult to quit if you do want to. And it is possible to quit nervous habits and tics, but you have to really want to, because the more that you want to, the more committed you'll be to actually avoiding the behavior and quitting. And so you need to have a strong desire if you really want to. And if you do want to, the things that you can look out for to quit that make it easier to quit, you can identify and avoid the situations that you know are going to make you want to engage in the nervous habit. For me personally, that can be idle time if I'm just sitting around. Then my hands will probably go towards whatever, like my mouth or my eyes. You can find replacements for the behavior, or you can and actually, it's good to do as much stuff as you can. Have someone else watch for you. That could be someone that you encounter fairly frequently, like a parent or anyone that you live with, really, who is willing to kind of look out and see if they see you doing it and then let you know if they do. And something that I found out that actually really surprised me was that going cold turkey isn't actually the best way to quit a nervous habit. And according to psychologist Ellen Hendrickson of Scientific American, the best way to quit a habit is actually to kind of wean yourself off of it. And the example that she gave was that you're supposed to notice yourself trying to engage in the nervous habit 100 times. So if I bite my nails, notice how often my hands go up to my mouth. And if I get to 100 times, then I've already made being aware of when I engage in the nervous habit a practice, and I'll be more I'll be more prepared to stop in the future. And so then you can go cold turkey once you do that. And it's not easy, but it's definitely possible. For me, the replacement that works the best, and people should have replacements, any hobby is a good idea. But for me, that could be knitting, anything that keeps my hands busy. So the goal of a replacement is basically just to prevent you from doing the behavior. So if the nervous habit involves your hands, the best thing to replace it with is some kind of hobby or item that would prevent you from using your hands. So if there's no hobby that you're interested in, another option would be a stress ball, or you can even wear gloves, even though those are sometimes kind of annoying. But you could do something like that, any items that keep your hands busy. And then the last option would be having an accountability partner. And basically what that is finding someone who either struggles with a nervous habit as well or is just around you often enough to check in on you on the daily. So basically what you'd want to do is you could have them ask you like whether or not you've engaged in the nervous habit that day, and then they could check in on you. Like if I was biting my nails and my mom was my partner person, then she could take a look at my nails every day to see if I've bitten them. And if I know that she's going to check in on me, then I'm probably going to not want to engage in nail biting because I wouldn't want to let her down, because if she's going to look after me, then she's probably at least somewhat invested. And so I'm not going to want to let her down. And so I would not engage for that reason. So it helps as extra motivation. And so just to recap, a nervous habit is very common amongst people, and it's not always caused by anxiety, it's caused by other reasons. And going cold turkey, if you do want to quit, isn't the best option. There are a bunch of other things you can do that I touched on earlier, and it is possible. However difficult it may be, it's definitely possible. So I think the best thing, most important thing to keep in mind is that it's not always bad to be a quitter. I forgot to go through my visual aid, but I can do that now. So this is a stress ball, an example of something that you hold to keep yourself from engaging in a nervous habit. This is a calendar. For me personally, I like to mark off the days that I have gone since I last engaged in a nervous habit, and that helps me a lot. Knitting, this is my example of a replacement. Any hobby that uses your hands work. I think most nervous habits use your hands. And most hobbies do too that I know of, so that makes it easy. Okay, and then this is what I'm going for. These are full eyelashes. That is the goal of quitting my nervous habit, to have a full lash line. Would be rad. And so now at this time, now that my presentation is over, I am accepting questions from the audience.
All right, so my question to you is, how do you compare your personal habits to the personal habits you see in others around you? Do you see people sharing the similar struggles that you share, or do you kind of feel more alone in the fight for breaking your personal habit?
Okay, that I don't feel alone. Like most of the people in my family deal with nervous habits. My dad bites his nails also, and he fiddles with his hair. He doesn't pull it out, but he does mess with it. And my mom used to pick her lip. I don't think she does anymore, but she picks the skin around her nails, and so does my brother. And so most people I know, and some of my friends bite their nails too. And so I know a lot of people who have struggled with nervous habits, and because it's such a big part of my life, that's part of why I thought it would be a good topic to discuss, because it's so relevant. Because I think a lot of people have some kind of manifestation of their anxiety or boredom or relaxation or anger. And so, yeah, I do see it very often. And if that is all, thank you very much.